This episode really tests the strength of the friendship between Nelson and Murdock. I'm in town and I saw Daredevil Season 1, Episode 10, Nelson versus Murdock. It is directed by Farron Blackburn, written by Luke Calex. If you haven't seen this episode, I'll spoil it for you. This episode, we're following Foggy. He's in Murdock's apartment. Remember the episode last? Murdock stumbling into his apartment and Foggy is there. The night nurse has helped him get stitched up, and then we have a big old debate between Nelson and Murdock. We get a little bit of what their life was like when they first met. It was during law school. They were roommates in law school, and then they got big old drunk together, and then they're like, yeah, we're gonna discuss what our plans are, what we're thinking about. And I gotta say, Foggy, I think he kind of jumps the gun a little at the very beginning. He's like, oh yeah, we met, we're roommates, we're gonna do everything together. And honestly, I've never really had that relationship with a roommate before. More specifically, college roommates. I've always treated college roommates as just somebody there and I'd get along with them, but am I doing everything together? No. You guys are sleeping in the same bedroom, so I understand why you guys are doing this, why you guys are so close. But then it shows them at the firm that they were at before they decided to branch off and start their own firm. Shows the working conditions there. They were interns, they were just, chilling, having a good old time. They were deciding to work their way up the firm before deciding to just not be part of their firm anymore. There's this whole freaking fight between Foggy and Matt. When did you start doing this? Are you really blind? Yes, I am blind. I had goo in my eyes and I'm blind, but I have heightened senses. What, do you want me to tell you that at the very first meeting? Here's the thing about Matt Murdock. At some point, he stopped sharing every single aspect of his life with Foggy. Foggy asks, hey, why do you do this? Are you just looking for excuses to hit people in the middle of the night? First of all, Matt Murdock's like, I do want to hit people, but I want to hit the right people. This all started when we decided to leave the firm. It was the first night that we have left the firm that we were previously working on so we can start our own firm. There was this young woman who is, and the show doesn't even say what it is, but it's implied that the father is raping the daughter. There's no evidence whatsoever of this. He just heard it and he could hear like the cries of the little girl through the window, and he called the police and the police didn't find anything. So what he did is, the guy is a drunkard who just like, oh, I'm like walking and down the trail of the train, woo, the train track, just walking. I love the evolution of the outfit because like the first thing that he's wearing is just like covered in blood because he's beat him up. And the gloves are just like gauze. And so Foggy's like, wait, you didn't want us to work outside of the law. You get to now? And it's a good point. He raises a really good point. Also, on top of this, we have the Karen and the Ulrich stuff. Oh my goodness, it only took so long for me to finally know how to pronounce it. But Ulrich, the journalist. The journalist is like, I have some bigger fish on my plate than following the Fisk story. And Karen's like, how about I take you to this home, right? Takes him to this really fancy home. He's like, I can't afford this. She's like, okay, well, come with me, right? And the entire time he's like, why are we here? They knock on a door, they talk to this woman, and the woman reveals herself to be Fisk's mother. She's not dead. And Ulrich's like, oh. And the thing that Ulrich has to leave this gig and get the promotion that is being offered to him, instead of being like a journalist, he's like a reporter or something. It's when his wife is like way too far gone and like whatever is going on with her brain, she's like some sort of dementia or something. I can't tell. I feel like she's too young for dementia, but diseases act just anytime. That's just nature. He has to put her in a hospice. And I was like, oh my God, that's so sad. Oh man, that is so depressing. Speaking of Fisk, he's hosting this charity dinner, getting a bunch of people to give him money. What are those dinners called? I don't know what they're called, but he has like a bunch of people in the room. And there's these people who are getting these champagne glasses, including Vanessa, and she drinks one and a bunch of people drink one, and then they just start dropping. And they got foam in their mouths, including Vanessa. It's like, no, what is going on? Somebody did this act of violence. This is not good. And the episode ends with Foggy just leaving the firm. He takes his stuff, he just walks out. And I'm like, what are you gonna do now, Foggy? What is your plan? How are you gonna tell Karen? Oh, you can't tell Karen because Matt doesn't want you to tell Karen? Well, I can't believe I'm just lying to her, so I might as well leave. This episode is a big emotional doozy. There's a lot of whirlwinds of emotions that I experienced while watching this episode. Most of the Nelson v. Murdock scenes, they're kind of darker tone. You still got some light going through the place, but it's more of a darker tone. I feel like most of this episode is just kind of shot in a darker tone because it's darker in tone, and I really like stuff that's dark in tone, and a lot of emotional stuff happens, such as Ulrich has to put his wife into hospice, Nelson leaves the firm, so it's just Murdock now, Murdock at law. And then a bunch of people get poisoned at Fisk's party, and it's like, who done did it? I really like this episode a lot. It has stuck with me. I'm really excited to see what happens with Nelson, honestly, the most. I'm most interested to see what happens to Foggy. And I'm also like, who could have possibly poisoned everybody at Fisk's party? Somebody that Fisk probably trusts, or maybe somebody slipped in a pill or two into all the champagne, but I feel like that would be noticeable. I don't know. What do you think in the comments below? I've got to give this episode. It's really good. It's a solid 8.3 out of 10. If you like this review, watch another one on the platform where you like, set $20 Ditos at patreon.com/ASEPresents for a 1 movie review for 1 month. If I haven't reviewed on a channel, there's a chance I haven't seen it all, so get the Patreon requested at patreon.com/ASEPresents. Support the daily grindness by going to Autistic Boobs, so go here. And until next time, mint salad saw, I'll see you later, my sour croutons and bacon bits. You know, I hear there's a spot, there's an opening in Matt Murdock's firm now. I'm not a lawyer, but I'm gonna go talk to him. Bye.